Rory, how are you?
Hey Ariel, I'm doing good. You?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us. So we have a lot to discuss. First, I want to ask you, the last time we spoke was after the Douglas Lima fight, and you were pretty banged up. How are you recovering? Are you fully healed, or still need some more time?
No, I'm fully healed.
Okay. Did it take a while?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it was slow. A few weeks after the fight, it was really in a lot of pain, but then all of a sudden the pain went away, and it started just coming slowly back to normal. But yeah, it's fine. It's feeling like a normal leg again. It's always going to be a bit bumpy though because the fascia tore off the bone, but
Oh,
it functions the same.
wow. So it tore off the bone in that fight in January against Lima?
Just because the hematoma was so big, in a little section of the muscle there,
Yeah.
the fascia that keeps the muscle tight to the bone or whatever. It's not there anymore, so it's a bit like softer than other parts. But I mean, as far as function and strength and everything, it's just normal.
And no surgery though, right?
No.
Okay. I was curious because on Friday you tweeted out like just seconds after Mousasi's win. Of course, a lot of us were lamenting the fact that the event wasn't shown live in North America. Were you just following along on Twitter, or were you watching some other way?
Yeah, I was just following on Twitter.
Okay. And then you sort of said to him that you wanted to fight. He actually mentioned you as well. Why is that something of interest to you, this fight? Is it because he's the most, well-known guy that's within striking distance? You want the second belt. What is it about this opportunity that has you excited?
Well, for multiple reasons. Number one, it was my goal to be the champion of middleweight and welterweight, and then Gegard's been been hyping the fight between us. Like he wants to fight me, and I obviously want what he has. So I think that's really it's great timing, and yeah, he's one of the best guys in the world at 185. So I mean, who better to fight for a world title at middleweight than him?
Did you have an opportunity to actually watch his fight later on?
Yeah, I watched it. It was really impressive. He did a great job.
Were you expecting him to win that convincingly? That I guess you could say easily.
Not really. You never really expect a title fight to go that easy, but I mean, it's how it is sometimes.
So what's interesting about this is you put out the tweet. He responded to you. I saw Bellator's social media put out a little thing, and you responded to that, which I thought was very interesting. But the impression that I'm getting as of right now is that it's not in the immediate plans as far as the decision makers are concerned. Are you hearing otherwise? Like, do you have a sense as to what what they're thinking, if they're actually interested in booking this right away?
The feeling I'm getting, because I've been going back and forth with them a lot, because I'm very interested, and I'm pushing for this fight. So I've been messaging Scott, messaging Richard Chow, and the feeling I'm getting from them is they don't know. I think they're going to meet about it with everyone who makes those kind of decisions, and I think they'll make an executive decision at that point. But I mean, obviously, me and Gegard want it, and I think fans want it. I think it would be the biggest fight for Bellator that they could put on right now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if they pass this opportunity by, it would be a mistake, because, I mean, how often can you get this kind of timing, and one fight could change the direction of any one of our careers, So I think the opportunity is now, and we should take it.
Have they told you? I mean, to me, it just seems like the easiest call of all time. It seems like a no brainer. You've got these two. I mean, arguably the two best fighters in the organization. Um, you're the two fighters in your respective weight classes that Bellator can say, "Hey, UFC, our champions are better than your champions." They've never been able to say that. They could legitimately say, "You're better than Woodley. You beat Woodley, of course." and they could legitimately say Mousasi is better than Whitaker, and there's an argument there. It's not like the craziest thing. Why wouldn't you want to, do this exciting matchup super fight? Do they give you any reason why they're not exactly all in right off the bat?
I think because it is a group decision. That's my feeling, that it's not just one person that says yes or no to this. I think they had some plans before this fight went the way it did, before like his media week went the way it did. So he built up this opportunity, and everybody wants it now. I don't think they foreseen that. I think they had other ideas that they had planned, which I don't even know what they are. But I think they have to go back to the drawing board a little bit and revise what they had planned.
Because of the buzz and the support behind this idea.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw an interview with Scott Coker, piggybacking off of what you just said, and he said he had some plans for you, but you just said you don't know. So they haven't brought anything else to your attention before this?
No, they didn't tell me anything.
Are you antsy to have some kind of guidance? Like, are you ready to get back in there?
Yeah, I mean, I had mentioned to them that I was able to fight on the May 25th card, but it was a little too late for them. I needed some time to heal from my leg, and they were kind of rushing my decision. And by the time I had given an answer, they said it was the card was already complete. So now since then I've just been waiting to hear some news.
Okay. And so if we have this fight, like right now, you're kind of in between fights, so to speak. Could I ask, like, typically, what do you walk around at?
Well, I mean, for the last 2 years, I've been walking around in the mid 180s, but I felt like I was doing too much cardio, and I was losing too much power and size. So since my last fight, I've been increasing my size and my power and things like that. I've been addressing that. So I'm walking around more the 200 range now.
Oh, wow. That's a huge difference. So you would have to cut weight for a fight at 185.
Yeah, I mean, once I'm in shape, though, I mean, powerlifting and eating more, it's not like real weight. It comes up quick when you're an athlete. So when I'm back training full force, training for an MMA fight, I won't be cutting much weight. I'll just hopefully be a little more powerful and maybe a little bigger.
If you're walking around
I'm not like, that's not something I worry about as far as moving up to middleweight. I know I'm going to be outsized there, so it's not really about that. I'm not trying to get that much bigger.
If you're walking around at 200 these days, do you foresee a time when you'll be too big for 170, or do you think that?
No, I've been like most of my career in the UFC, I was walking around plus 200.
Okay.
I was just a little bit like soft, that's all. And I wasn't taking care of like the conditioning aspect of training outside of fights. So I was, for the last 2 years, I was just making a change on my training schedule, outside of fights and inside of training camps and things like that, and my eating habits. So I had lost a bit of weight, not like intentionally, just it happened. But I don't manage my weight that strictly. I mean, I know my body pretty well over the years. I've been fighting for pro since I was 16 years old, so I'm pretty used to like how my weight fluctuates, and I don't get stressed about that.
Did that tweet from Bellator, the one where they quoted him, calling you a chicken, did that piss you off?
Well, no, I didn't get like too like angry about it. I was just a little frustrated at the fact that they're not guaranteeing me this fight, yet they're promoting his challenge, calling me a chicken. So in the sense, if they decide not to put this fight together, it's kind of like could be perceived as I ducked his challenge, but I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be publicly known that I want this fight as much as Mousasi does. So it really is in the hands of Bellator. That's pretty much what I was trying to get across, is that my decision is, like, they know my decision on this. I want to be in there. Mousasi wants to be in there. So now Bellator has to get it done.
And so right now, I mean, this is a huge fight, but there was a time where we were kind of getting excited at the potential idea of you versus Ben Askren. You guys were going back and forth as well. Seems like that idea has kind of fizzled out. Based off what Scott Coker said, they didn't want to do a one fight deal, and I can understand that because they don't want someone walking away with a belt potentially. How close did that ever get? And like, were there ever serious talks about this?
Well, I had brought it up to Scott and Rich on several occasions when I first came to Bellator. All the time I brought it up. I was always interested in fighting that guy, but it just never seemed to be of interest. So I don't know. I don't know why it didn't work out on their part. With Ben and Bellator, I don't know how the talks went between them. I just know that it didn't go any further than me bringing it up to them.
There is a theory that he kind of likes to stir the pot with these fights because he knows that nothing will ever happen. So it's like the perfect spot to be in. Do you believe that as well?
I don't know. I don't want to judge because I don't know Ben at all. I would hope that he would be up for the challenge. I really don't know. I don't know him well enough to make the decision. I haven't looked into his career enough. I know he's a talented wrestler and he's good at what he does, and it would be an interesting fight. So, I mean, I'm very interested if they were able to get it put together.
Is there any part of you that think there's a chance here, or do you feel like it's dead at this point?
It seems to be off my radar at the moment because no one's talking about it. Last time I brought it up to them, and the last I heard in interviews is that Bellator isn't interested in signing him. So I think what it's going to take is a change in Ben's what he wants as far as like signing a new contract with the organization. I think it's going to take some flexibility on his part to get fights. So right now I'm just focused on that Mousasi fight. That's all I really care about. I'm really hyped on that, and I'm really pushing for that one.
Has there been any talk about finally bringing you back to Canada and having your next fight, if it is against Mousasi or anyone else, be in your home country?
Well, I think that would be really great, especially with that kind of a opponent and the world title on the line, and me already being a world champion. I think would be a great card to bring to Canada. It's uncharted territory for them, and I really don't know how much work they've done as far as organizing an event or talking to different locations and stuff. But I think that would be great. I would love it.
But I'm looking at your Twitter now, and you have the picture of you with the belt. Here we are 4 months after you became champion. Does it feel different? Like, do you feel like a different person? Do you feel like a different fighter now that you're finally a champion? I know it's not the UFC belt that you were coveting for a long time, but does this feel like you thought it would feel when you dreamed of becoming a champion?
It's exactly the same. I don't know. I thought it might feel a little different, but besides, more people gunning for that spot, but like more people wanting to fight me,
Yeah.
Because everyone wants that spot. But no, everything feels totally the same. Nothing changed in my life because of it.
Nothing.
And
no perk, nothing.
No.
Wow.
Not really. Besides people calling me champ.
Right.
But, I don't know. I'm happy with it. It's nice to be there, and it's nice to have gotten to that position in the sport. And it was a long-time goal of mine, and I'm looking to achieve more, like the middleweight title and things like that. I'm still not done. I have a lot more, things that I want to take care of in the sport before I leave.
Do you feel like because you have a win over Woodley, your win is monumental for the company because it's the first time that they can seriously say that their champion is better than the UFC's. Do you feel like that is something that they're proud of? Like that's a massive feather in your cap?
I guess so. I mean, it's hard to do. I don't really believe in the MMA math because at that skill level, when you're talking about world title competitors, it could be anybody's fight on any given night. Because everyone's at such a high skill level and everybody's so dangerous, and anyone can win it, if they're feeling good and the other guy's not. So, I don't really, think about it too much. I see a lot of people arguing about that online and stuff, but I mean, I know that I'm up there, I'm up with the top guys in the world still. Nothing's changed. It's just I'm fighting for a different organization at the moment.
By the way, and I'm not sure if this is actual like new news. And I've always been interested in the Bitcoin stuff, but I don't quite understand it. Did you make some kind of announcement about going public or something? I saw the videos that you did. What is going on there with the bit, or is it just like some regurgitated?
The training video I posted. I was wearing a Bitcoin Cash T-shirt, and I guess it went a little bit viral in the crypto community a little bit that I was wearing a Bitcoin Cash T-shirt. But yeah, it's just a digital currency that I support.
Okay, and that's big news because you came out with it?
I guess. I don't know. I didn't really plan for it to be any sort of big news. It was just a shirt I was wearing. But I mean, if you follow my tweets, I'm constantly retweeting and favoriting and commenting on Bitcoin Cash things and Dash things, different cryptocurrencies that I actually enjoy and like. But it's nothing, no big news really.
And so is Bitcoin Cash like a brand, or is that like just your supporting of the culture, so to speak?
Bitcoin Cash is a digital currency, and it forked off of basically there was a fork on the Bitcoin chain that happened back in August 2017, and so it's fairly new, but basically, in my opinion, it is the real Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin now that is holding the name is going on a different set of rules, or a different style. I don't know really how to explain it very well, but there's a ton of videos and research that everybody could do. But I think Bitcoin Cash is good because you could use it as a peer-to-peer currency. So it's electronic currency, peer-to-peer, basically.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I still have to wrap my head around all that. By the way, before I let you go, did you watch the UFC main event on Sunday? Same weight class as yours. You fought Wonder Boy. Till's a rising star. And if so, I'm wondering who you thought won, or at least what you thought of Darren Till.
I didn't watch that fight. I watched like a couple 10-second highlights on Instagram. I heard it was a close fight, but nothing really action packed.
Okay. Are you a believer in Darren Till, or are you not too familiar with him thus far?
Well, I mean, if he gave Wonder Boy a hard fight, he's up there, So I honestly haven't watched too much of him. I know he beat up Cowboy really good, and he's had some good fight. I think I watched some highlights of him. He's obviously very skilled, and he's a big guy. He's powerful. He's another exciting young guy to watch come up. I think that's great.
Where does Wonder
Boy have another new? Sorry.
No, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I was just saying it's exciting having new blood with talent come up. Young blood. That's good.
Just going 5 rounds with Wonder Boy, which is what you did. Like, where does he rank in terms of like the toughest opponents that you have fought, the trickiest guys? Because sometimes I think people get frustrated, like, oh, it's not the most action-packed fight because it's not like a firefight, like a Robbie Lawler fight. But that's because he's so damn good and he's so hard to figure out, right?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to say. I fought him in a totally different style. I changed a style that I've never fought anyone like before. I totally experimented with totally different set of skills that I acquired over 2 months before the fight. So, I mean, if I were to fight him again, I know I wouldn't fight him the same way. I'd fight him more how I fight everybody. If you've seen my last fight with Paul and my last fight against Douglas Lima, you know, I just fight. I fight with my strengths now. I fight with the style I'm comfortable with, and if I fought him like that, I think it would go a lot better for me. But he obviously he's very elusive, and he's got a unique style about him. So it's not easy to train for a guy like that or get training partners who can give you that look. So, you know, he's very unique, which, you know, it's cool to see.
Rory, this is something I like to do sometimes on the program when people are in the same stratosphere. Like to try to play matchmaker myself and bring them on at the same time. So if you don't mind just staying there for one quick second, because I do want to bring in Gegard Mousasi here. Let's see if we could do what Scott Coker and company can't do right now. Gegard, let's go to the Skype machine here for a second. And that's no knock on Scott. I'm just kidding. But let's go to Skype and say hello to the new Bellator middleweight champion, Gegard Mousasi, who's right there. Gegard, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, I'm talking to Rory MacDonald right now, and it just occurred to me, why don't I try to get these two great men on the phone together to see if we can hash this out? So please say hello to Rory MacDonald, the Bellator welterweight champion.
How are you, Rory?
I'm good. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, my friend. Good.
Gegard, are you interested in this fight? You like this idea? You want this to happen next? You versus Rory for your middleweight title?
Yeah, I think Rory is a big name. It's a fight that everyone want to see. I want to make the fight. I think Rory wants to make the fight. And, you know, that was Rory started with wanting to come up weights, and we liked the fight. So he said it, and we replied it 100 times. And now, I don't know. It's not up to me. It's like Rory said, it's up to Bellator.
Rory, what do you think of that?
I think he's exactly right. We both want this fight to happen. It's in Bellator's hands at the moment, so I think if the fans who want to see this fight happen, what you guys got to do is get on your social media and let Bellator know that this is the fight you guys want, and it's going to put pressure on them to make this happen.
Yes, give the people what they want. Rory, we'll let you go. Any parting words for Gegard before we talk to him solo here?
Not really. Congratulations on your victory. It was good.
Thank you.
There you go. I love it. Okay. Rory, thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care, Ariel. Thank you.
How about that? Wow.